Talia has been an incredible champion and has been for rookie specifically 9-2 on this pick. So you got to take it
Vi's
off.
up.
Pantheon getting taken out as well. Good shout on the Vi. We'll see if that's going to be an immediate first pick slam here. It's Jiejie's second most played. I don't see why you wouldn't.
I gotta believe it, because then you take the Rumble Gwen handshake later on. There is an opportunity to go Gwen Vi, right, on the flip side, but I don't think you can take Gwen plus Rumble. Oh, God, they're gonna... Okay. We're just gonna prioritize the Varus, potentially. That has been a big pick for Gala.
Too.
Okay. Again, Rumble
really
Gwen
good
handshake up. We're expecting to somewhat see that in game 1. As... Yep. There's the Rumble.
So this is interesting because you can take away Vi's second best pairing and grab the Ahri for yourself and then kind of put together a solid enough mid-jungle. It's going to be a little bit difficult because some of Ahri's best pairings are gone, but you can kind of leave Vi as just her own singular champion at this point if you really want to. That does mean that you won't get the Gwen part, or you'll just have a lot of junglers banned out.
I think you put TheShy on Gwen. He is a menace on that champion. As, okay. We could be saving it for a different game.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little surprised what's going on here, especially if you think you're saving it for a different game. I mean, what you're expecting here is, no offense to EDG, an IG victory, which would put EDG on blue side and maybe put the ball in their court there, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe you won't get it at all this series.
That could be the case, too. Maybe they're okay with Z2Z playing it, but okay.
This makes sense.
They're going to drop it.
More.
It's going to be Galio Nefiri. It isn't a really nice combo. Being able to get out of the Wombo combo of Vi plus Rumble, at least with that W. Also, the Galio being able to chase. And that Galio, I mean, technically a flex pick. We expect that to just default go into the Rumble, but still an opportunity that rookie plays it, especially if, you know, Angel wanted something like a Rise here, which does not seem to be the case. Looks like they're going to answer AD.
Yeah, and I want to ask, what do you think about Galio Nefiri as a pairing here? Is that pairing strong enough to give any credence that it'll go in the mid lane?
I do like it. I don't think that it defaults to mid lane, but I think these champions play off each other really nicely. So just helping out with his Death Ball identity. Also, I think the big thing for Galio, if it's going to be Gwen, I think that you have to go Poke Varus, or makes it a lot more likely for Poke Varus. Galio, for me, really opens up that opportunity to still have that on-hit Varus later on. So might be one of the other reasons why they ended up going with that.
Alistar, the first ban in the second half, so Meiko won't be stuffing Vi. He's been so good on that champion throughout his career. One of his best ones. Get that one off the board. IG, I assume they'll be aiming at the mid lane here. Victor has been a really successful pick for Angel, even though it's not the greatest with Vi. It can operate just fine. We're going to see that Ahri get taken out. We talked about that really strong duo earlier.
Yeah, no, I don't think that you can play Rise. I think that Rise almost has to be a ban here if you're EDG, which they're going to let through. Because for me, if they pick Rise, I mean, the Galio pick goes way up in value, right?
Yeah.
Early game, you can really successfully play into Rise and really try and snowball Death Ball this game forward for IG. It's one of the better pairings with Nefiri, too. So just kind of curious what ends up happening with that pick. I do think there's an opportunity where Rise is kind of outranged in this game. Like playing Rise in the Jhin Rumble Vi doesn't sound fantastic, but it pairs so well with Nefiri, and it could open up more space for even an on-hit Varus, where I feel like it might still be an option. So not bad. I will say Rakan, Rel, Leona, the three big support picks that we see. I think Rakan for Meiko is very valid. And oh god, we haven't even talked about Annie. Annie is blistering filthy OP right now.
Yeah, she's super strong.
Yeah, but I'm curious now. Again, that leads more credence to a potential. I feel like you can't play Galio into both. He doesn't love his life into Annie, but there's a chance where he can kind of buffer out of stuns, and it's not terrible.
You could just pick Rise here and just go with your strong mid-jungle duo of Rise and Nefiri.
I think it's Orianna.
I think it could be too, especially if you're going to go engage like a Rel or Khan, as you pointed out, or even a Leona, to make sure that Galio is able to get easy access to break up these team fights.
Leona provides a lot more reach to try and get to the back line. I like that Solar for a lot this game. I think being able to set up for Nefiri plus Galio going in is good. It's now rookie.
This would be good.
I mean, the ults aren't fantastic, but at least with the Silas, you can play with Nefiri into mid. So I think it provides that winning 2v2 that Jiejie and Rookie might be looking for.
All right, well, that's locked in. It's going to be the Silas for Rookie here in game 1. EDG going to have to be a little careful with their support pick. Don't really want to give over something super powerful to Rookie. He does have a couple of really good options. He's got the Rumble Equalizer, the Vi Ultimate, which I think are some of the best ones to take.
Yeah, cease and assist could be big. I think there is a lot of reach from this IG comp. They're going to try and deathball and overwhelm what EDG has. But this one goes late. I will say that the Galio versus Rumble matchup, it's really big in the mid game where you just get to beat Galio and exist, but Rumble gets to come back and do more damage later on. I just don't know if it will be like enough damage what EDG has to actually get through IG, because it's a lineup that almost is so tanky. Like, we have seen Annie just straight up drop Tibbers and one-shot people, right?
Yeah.
I think IG is tanky enough to actually play around that. But I'm also concerned scaling-wise, like how effective they're going to be throughout this game.
It's going to be a particularly tough matchup for Gala because everybody wants to kill him. 11-1 on this Varus so far in 2025. He will be battle-tested. And
all
one
right,
thing
Yanni,
we want to do before we get into the game, we have caster predictions to pull up here. As you and I are definitely on the side of IG, nobody on the side of EDG, but you and I, a stark difference. You have them taking it 3-0. I have a 3-1. I'm going to defend my point by saying IG has been really inconsistent this year. I don't know if they can beat a singular team 3 times in a row, no matter if they come from Group Nirvana.
So look at the Rocks Tiger t-shirt on our teammate here. That is, that's what I'm focused on.
Hell yeah.
Is that Rocks or Coup Tigers? Anyway, it's one of the two.
That's a good question.
I like, yeah. I
shout out
Izzy. Our graphics,
Those are graphics.
help creating this
Izzy.
one. Very base. You said going into this, Yanni, it might be Yin versus Yang. It feels like the predictions are a little bit less so.
It's going to be all Yin and no Yang, I think.
Yeah. Well, so that ends up being the case as, of course, diving into this game 1. All eyes on IG. I think IG have to play fast in order to get ahead in this one.
Summoner's Rift, game 1 of this best of 5 series. Let's do it.
All right, we're going to have better Xiaohaos in game 2.
Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more for a playoff series, to be quite honest with you. So we're going to find Angel quickly. Going to take in a lot of damage here. He's going to be forced to flash over the wall, so an early win for IG.
All right, you can see here the solo queue, favoring EDG's comp a little bit more early. That is an important flash to lose, as again with the Silas and the Fury, really opens up the ability to play into mid lane. And now no flash on Annie. Gotta imagine that's going to be punished. This again is a very winning 2v2 for Rookie and Jiejie, just with the champions that they've ended up drafting for this one. So a little bit concerned early on for Angel and EDG. As you can see, Rookie checking to see where Xiaohao starts. Not going to be the Raptors. So probably red buff assumed. And we're diving in.
The good news for Angel is that flash should be back up around the time for Xiaohao and Angel to potentially make their first play. We did talk about how a lot of Vi's best pairings are off the board. However, the ultimates between these two champions are definitely really synergistic. The problem is the champion, Annie, has a harder time moving around than a Talia, than an Ahri, right? So we're going to have to look for Angel to be very on top of his map movements and get to where Xiaohao wants to go quickly. Congratulations to Rookie, by the way. 1,000 games. Third in the LPL.
I mean, Rookie IG legend as well. I know that we talked about some of the history with his teammates in EDG, but yeah, I was there for Season 5 Worlds where I was watching him get griefed by Cacao, my old goat.
Yeah. You got to remember him and TheShy winning a title together, Like,
yeah, of course, that
this
too.
team is with great duos and then Gala. Nothing wrong with that. That sounds good to me.
Absolutely. All right. You can see Hellblades picked by Gala, so potential for still some Poke Varus this game. I do think a Poke Varus actually has a lot of value again. Pretty squishy comp here for EDG, just with that Rumble top. And we see Jiejie with the invade again, priority. And Jiejie gonna just wipe this one away. So between mid flash being down, maybe Angel not being able to play quite as aggressively, and then bot Prio. Good opener for IG, just securing Jiejie a free blue buff, and yeah, I can play the Angel. He's no flash. He's got to play back, respect it, and he's just going to lose out.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Nefiri being one of those champions that can get in and do things. Gala forced to use both of his summoners as a Wink had a nice engage there. Xiaohao was hunting around, and he will take the crab for himself. We'll see if they pay a repeat visit to the bot.
Sidestep from Meiko. He's going to walk out of that one okay, and his AD will base. Of course, both sums now down for Gala, but IG should be okay with that. Is Jiejie off to a really nice start, as of course Xiaohao did lose out on that camp. And the Fury going to be really important this game. I think that if IG is stacking up that lead on the Fury and kind of surviving the first couple of Vi Annie combos while people are squishy enough, where Vi Annie might be able to do more work against the IG comp, that's a good start.
Shout out our Twitch chatters with their predictions here. I got to be honest with you. I really think more of them should be in tune with IG. But hey, they've been watching IG just like we have, and they know that IG is live to just have some issues sometimes.
I know that we have a couple mods that are longtime EDG enjoyers as well, as we've been blessed with some LPL history.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That might be swaying the vote a bit.
Yeah, looking at you, Marakoof.
We love them all the same. Gala wants in for a little bit of a short trade there, which means that Wink can't get in. Good stuff. Solo there. So Meiko is moving around. And right now, Xiaohao seems kind of homeless.
I mean, he should be cleaning up the next few of his camps, but potential of after the Raptors to actually do something. This clear from Jiejie has been really nice, though, as he's going to first back. Yep. Looks like it's going to be that Spear of Shojin Rush for the Nefiri. I do like that quite a bit. As getting more buttons, really nice on this champion.
Yeah, Jiejie going to deploy on the bot lane here. He's going to go do his Krugs. This dragon is available. It is a Ken-Tech dragon. We don't often see teams immediately rip it anymore unless they win a big fight. And right now with no level 6s, I can't imagine anything crazy is going to go down just yet.
So I think the good news so far for EDG is that they were able to survive with mid being down flash. I say that, Angel still missing flash.
Sure?
Did just net 6, but there's a couple seconds where Angel still doesn't have it. Jiejie lying in wait. Angel going to pay respect and back off.
TP takes too long, man. That change has killed plays like that, which makes me sad at times. As a nice sneak in here. Oh, this could be bad.
This could be real bad.
Yeah, but Ana's going to have to link up. All right, we're seeing a lot of damage go down on Meiko. He does get rooted up, but here comes the rest of the team. Jiejie here first. They're going to go look for Xiaohao as Meiko goes down. It's going to be first blood going over to the Vi, and Ana's going to force away Gala. Really sneaky play there from EDG.
Gala's no sums. Does it get picked up by the deadly flourish?
Might be
still
dead
under
here.
threat.
He is going to get slowed. One more auto might kill him. No, he lives on a sliver, but a flash from On gets the job done. And now Jiejie going to have to try to clean up Wink here, and he will be able to take him down. Xiaohao is here, and the root will not land because Nefiri has that untargetability, but really good stuff out of EDG early.
Yeah, nice trap laid by Wink and Xiaohao. No, I said for EDG. We do like how Wink plays at times in this bot lane. Definitely a support that we felt like was a little bit better than the other supports in Group Nirvana. Maybe a player that should have been down there. And good to see him set up a nice trap for EDG. And it's been a decent start for Wink. Obviously did go down in that fight, but well worth it trading up. Getting Gala's summoner spells out ended up paying off there as he laid a nice trap.
Yeah, we wanted them to revisit, and they didn't. You know, for as little as we've seen of EDG, we did talk about how Xiaohao and Wink are going to be the big drivers for EDG to see some success, and you saw it right there. If they continue to make plays like that, IG are going to have to pull out all of their power. They're going to have to use 100% of their strength.
Yeah, I still think that, speaking of IG strength, right, full strength for them, level 6 coming in. They need to be healthy enough to survive this Vi Annie. So I think that not fighting right now, like this is where you're really squishy and really vulnerable to these combos once Vi does get 6 in. The fact that Fury's ahead does help. So Fury's going to be likely to one that's, you know, going to be finding these fights and combos. But again, I think this mid game for IG, once you can kind of survive that, so maybe the 1 item or 2 items for Varus is where they're really going to be looking to play. I think that big thing for them just being able to set up first to make sure they're getting poked down on the EDG. And making sure that they're at least healthy enough to survive the combo. Because again, that's really my theory of this draft for IG, like what I see. is it felt like they took a top side that's big enough where you can't get one shot by Yanni, and even if Fury has the W to play around it, hopefully, right? So it kind of feels like that's the logic here for IG is, at the moment, they're the ones that are hitting the grubs for free. So we have a rotation come out from them, and Dragon's yet to be started by Xiaohao. So IG a little bit ahead on the play in the trade we have here.
Yep, now he's going to start it up. We'll see if there's any plays going on. We see a lot of on-the-way pings coming down to that Dragon, perhaps.
They should fight this.
They want to fight. Wink is going to be able to drop a ward down. Rookie, not a full mana right now. Looking pretty good on health, but it looks like he'll take his recall here. As the Dragon, no longer being done, Xiaohao had pulled off, went back into his jungle, so overall good for IG.
He's going to go top. Okay, so they dropped the top wave in order to bring Varus down and try and contest this Dragon, which I like a lot. Again, Varus having the Dirk, being the poke Varus, quite strong. If you are able to contest, you can see Angel really having to respect the range of Gala, who does have his Summoner spells back up. So it doesn't look like they're fully committing to actually hitting this Dragon, as it has been started by Xiaohao, and he's going to pull it out. But with Meiko on reset, that might be enough to secure it for EDG. But with IG making those calls and rotations, it did look like they were going to try and play for that for a heartbeat, but deciding to recall, reset, and we'll see what they can get on their next set of plays.
Yeah, and credit to EDG. They had great vision, and now they have to give vision to go to Gala here. He just has everything thrown on top of him, and Wink is the one who claims his life.
Dragon was taken. He had no one on map. Like, both sides weren't shoving. I think that's just a mid-wave that you give. Gala not wanting to give it. That is what EDG's comp can do, and that's a pretty easy freebie kill going over to EDG.
Yeah, right now EDG looking pretty solid. It's a small gold lead, but they were able to at least trade out the objectives. They got the feat of Warfare too. It's just a matter of what's going to happen next. What's the next play? And it looks like they might be looking to take out ZDZ.
Yeah, I think, I mean, one of the really nice parts about Galio into Rumble, the gank assist that you're able to bring, if it is going to be a look from Jiejie, as with Meiko being up there too, I do think that the ability to overload and overwhelm Rumble on the side lane, very real if you were playing this combo. But at the moment, it's still going to be Jiejie just getting fed. So it feels like IG just kind of still waiting to see when the time's right for them.
Yeah, and you know what? The longer they wait, it still benefits them. As long as this game doesn't get out of control, they should be in okay shape. We know that Rookie probably going to wait till he gets tanky here. He's not quite done with that Rod of Ages. Once he gets that, starts getting stacked up, that's really when he's going to survive a lot of this damage that you mentioned earlier, right? This Angel engage. I
mean, look, if it goes late, I actually like EDG's comp later on. Angel's going to fall off, but like Jhin and Rumble do outscale their counterparts. It just is going to be a question, is there enough gas in the tank for Jhin plus a Rumble to get through this front line? Honestly, for me, that's a little bit of wait and see. I don't know the answer of it. I think that's the logic of each team, but kind of curious to see how this one plays out.
Really nice stuff there from Rookie. He was able to get 2 plates. I think he lost that third plate.
That's 3.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think he was at a range.
He got a Roa. Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely got a few. You see Jiejie up here smiting down ZDZ, looking for a little bit more. There's just no CC, right? So all you got is some barking dogs, and that's about it, man.
I mean, that's a really good double Q trade, actually, from Jiejie. As ZDZ kind of misplaying that one, stepping up again, and we'll see how much TheShy wants to mess around with his recall. I think there's a world where Jiejie can stay up there and they can look for a dive, but with him being spotted top, Xiaohao's down bot. Angel's here, flashless, but a potential look for plays.
Okay, uses the W, drops the ultimate down, and he's dealing with Honor in a 1v1, forces on to flash.
I really like how Jiejie, at least, you know, he got the boots, got the Spear of Shojin, and he's trying to make his presence felt. Getting some couple positives up on that top side. Did get the TP out of ZDZ and got the flash out of On. We'll see if IG can find the revisits. Again, the ability to overwhelm, overload with the melee is definitely very real for IG. Just going to have to see if they can cash in on some of these summoner spells being done.
I think we're really waiting to see Rookie get this Rod stacked up a little bit longer. Next objective in 1 minute and 45 seconds. We know EDG, this is the time that they really want to pull the trigger. I'd love to see Rumble come down for one of these plays, drop a nice equalizer, get IG in disarray, and that could be a fight that breaks the game open.
Yeah, see if Rumble's able to get that Beyondries here before this Dragon, if he does indeed come down. As I still think it's a world where IG, minute before, I want to see. I mean, the best role for them is if they get controlled, right? You have Poke Varus, you have these melees. If you are able to get in here first, chip down some health bars, and then set up for the fight from there. I think that's what IG's looking for sure with their AD here in Gala.
Just take a look at what Meiko has done.
Spawns.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about it earlier and how good this guy actually is. Just look to see him make big plays to stymie EDG's advance. So they're taking away this blue buff, looking to get down a little bit of vision. And again, Xiaohao is going to be missing a blue buff. Tough world. Okay, we're going to go for the play onto Angel here.
Meiko.
Lands the Zenith Blade. Stun goes out. We don't have enough to actually take him down.
So that's pretty big. I mean, Angel has TP. So with a couple skills being used, that might be enough to actually, get back to the full health bar and try and contest this dragon. Of course, Tiber's not going to be available as Malignance was completed. So a big spell taken away from EDG for this fight, but you see Angel TPing back instantly. It's health bar advantage and control for EDG as this one spawns.
Yeah, Meiko had to take it back here, so does mean that, as you said, EDG has control over this river. Their vision game's been really, really good. Consistently warding these chickens, knowing where Jiejie is going to be. Respect the hell out of it. So we are seeing Xiaohao head up to the top side here. Maybe looking to make a play on TheShy. Equalizer's going to come down. TheShy's going to be able to avoid most of it.
Well played.
He will be able to get some good damage in, but it's a little too late for Xiaohao.
Well played by TheShy. That Justice Punch backwards pretty much got him out of the entire Equalizer that's being dealt with the wave. He survives. Xiaohao being on the top side. It's going to be the first brick secured for IG. Bot.
Okay, the ultimate's going to land onto On, but Meiko couldn't do much more. On will take good damage. Gala will be forced to burn the cleanse. We do see Xiaohao on this Rift Herald right now, so it might just be another objective trade, although Meiko is on his way up.
I don't think it should be a trade here, as... Okay, we're getting a little feisty.
Frisky.
I mean, TheShy did TP back.
All right, the smite's going to go down, and they're going to drop everything they have onto the Vi. Xiaohao is going to get taunted up, but they don't have the damage. They will force the flash on.
And they deny the eye. So this is pretty much objective null and void. You can see Meiko bodyguarding that, and if they're able to deny that, that's a pretty big win for IG.
Yeah, it's gone. That's a huge time investment where EDG couldn't get anything, right? They don't get a kill during it. Meanwhile, IG get their dragon. They get first turret as well. There was a lot of good gold split between Jiejie and Rookie. This is where the map game, this is where perhaps the difference in games played comes into play.
I really like the boldness there of Meiko and TheShy just realizing, hey, I TP'd back. I'm strong. There's no equalizer on ZDZ. We can fight this, right? No flash now on Xiaohao. That is something that might be able to be punished. As at the moment, TheShy, he's a big boy down here. And yeah, he's pretty comfortable fighting with the Yanni. Gonna drop the cannon minion with the trade, but does find a positive trade at that. This Tibbers comes down. And, man, did you see Galio's health bar go down there? I didn't really see it. As ZDZ was trying to TP, they stopped it.
Oh, that's a big stop. They're going to have to try to 3v1 TheShy, make it a 4v1, but TheShy with the moves, he is going to get hit up. Oh, no, he's not. On was only able to actually land one of those 4 shots. Takes a lot of time. They take him down.
I thought TheShy played that really well. I don't know if a flash was actually worth it. He does go down either way. Wink got low, but wasn't going to be at threat of being killed. That said, with the tempo, the time that TheShy bought, look what IG is able to do. They won out on the grubs, of course, so the top outer falls. You can see top, or mid-outer, also going to fall here to Gala and Jiejie. So that play from TheShy, able to buy some time. At least speeds up the trades for IG, and they win out 2 towers to 1.
Really good stuff. And now Gala, I mean, look, he's even on gold with On, who has, been pretty even in farm, but has gotten 100% kill participation. Obviously, Xiaohao has done some things, but, they're even on gold. Let's take a look at this replay. As you mentioned, TheShy played this about as well as he could.
Yeah, the Justice Punch is the big one, right? And the way that EDG played it, Xiaohao was the one tanking first, so we had to drop it quickly. Honestly, it was well played by Wink to pick it back up and be able to chase it through in the end, as TheShy did a decent job of trying to kill the wave to the best of his abilities, but a little bit mismanaged there from EDG for me. Ends up being why TheShy was able to buy some time and make sure that his team could get 2 turrets to 1 in the big picture trade. So now getting back here, you can see IG a little bit more real estate to play with all the outer turrets gone. That's good news for Jiejie, who with the Black Cleaver coming in can really get up in the face of Vi and try and win out on this 1v1, try and deny some camps away from Xiaohao. As a map very much in IG's favor now.
Yeah, we could really see Xiaohao get starved out, and that would be bad news for the side of EDG. It's starting to happen a little bit as they want to make a big play on the Angel. Stun doesn't land, but they do force the flash out of Annie.
Flash on Annie, nice. I think kind of good that Meiko didn't connect that scene to play. That would have been a one-way trip for sure. As again, you can see that the waves are really nice right now for IG. They're able to get this one pretty much all the way to +2 with some help. They've been catching mid. As TheShy, curiously enough right now, TheShy, he's catching the top wave, and ZDZ using that time with the push he had to actually walk down. Might be a look for EDG, but IG seeing the rumble mid, gonna sneak their way on out of there. So well played here by IG. By surviving that play, they're gonna win out on both side lanes again, and again put EDG in a box.
Yeah, and it feels like EDG is just getting dragged around the map, right? They are just a little too late to these plays, and you know, a big issue.
Yeah,
a big issue is that there's a lot of flashes down, right? Like, Xiaohao is now just going to have his flash up. Didn't have it for that fight, which means he can't actually chase anybody. Angel isn't going to have the flash tibbers for a long time. Wink, his main engage, gets lessened. And, you know, this next objective fight, I mean, it just feels like EDG is going to have to give this one, too. Otacon in 17, and the Dragon in about a minute.
For me, this is where IG's comp is really strong. I know that EDG set the Varus behind. But still, Varus at this breakpoint at 2 items is good. Man, Black Cleaver now in for the Fury. It's going to really help with Thality Varus if they are able to sync up their damage. You can see TheShy almost has a second item. Rookie does have that Riftmaker and nearly a fully evolved Roa. So he's going to be a problem. As it's going to be a Rylai's for the Annie. I will say that the Andres was nerfed in this patch. If you guys at home want to check it out, always shout out to Viger V2, who always puts out his thoughts on itemization. Was talking about how Cubby went Rylai's on his Azir Pentakill, one that I really liked. But less the Andres.
Combat, perhaps?
Small Rylai's.
On the Wink. On doing what he can to get some damage out, but the stun is going to come out on the Wink. He's going to be forced to use his ultimate. Rookie coming through. He does have that Vi ultimate. Teleport was forced out of TheShy, but that's A-okay because IG will claim the Dragon.
Oh, yeah, he wants to drop that TP and make sure this Dragon's secure. They can maybe play Otacon after. You can see Meiko going to be spotted by Ward. Rookie is not, though.
Ultimate. Rookie immediately getting burned down, and the Vi ultimate goes on to him. Hero's entrance coming down as well. They put Xiaohao in the bounce house, but the anti-stun comes through. Xiaohao, though, getting low, will finally fall, and the root lands on his EDZ. He will flash, and he will getting good damage, but finally go down. Meiko is low and gets fourth shot by On. As now Jiejie in a bit of trouble. He's got to hop over the wall, but On is healthy. Tibbers is running him down. Jiejie has to use his W to go invulnerable and is forced to flash out. So it ends up in the end being a 3-for-3 overall, even though the objective went to IG.
Rylai is kind of working overtime there with Tibbers, and we'll say EDG could get back onto the map first. I was a little bit surprised it was a 3-for-3. I thought that IG were going to win that pretty heavily once they went over the wall, and the Varus ult connected onto the Rumble. ZDZ, though, Burn Flash actually bought a lot of time getting out of the Piercing Arrow. As, yeah, I want a second look at this one. Wink, you're going to be too far up. Waves are not set up for him to be here at all. Wink is too deep, and it's a good start to the fight from Meiko. They take him down for free. That's going to be the objective. With Rookie, they decide not to engage on him. We're going to speed up, and Rookie just getting caught out again. There's a ward here. Rookie is spotted on a control ward. ZDZ, nice trap, overheats. Gets a lot of damage down onto Rookie, who is relatively ineffective in this fight. But for me, the turn is TheShy in the back half ends up melting to On. I thought the fight was very one here for IG, but this flash from ZDZ buys a decent amount of time. He gets a lot more damage down as they kind of ignore him, just thinking that he's dead. And then Meiko overcommits into the Rylai's Annie and enables EDG to actually find an even 2v2.
You know what I think it might have been, Cubby? I think it was a vision difference for a hot second.
A little bit, yeah.
I think they were all out of the bush, and they didn't have a ward in it. So that allowed ZDZ to get off that overheated Flame Spitter.
Good call.
And the auto attacks. That's crazy.
It was
a really good fight out of ZDZ and On.
I mean, I know that he flashed and died, but what a high-value flash to get another overheat, really pump down some damage, and again, help ensure that that was a 3-for-3, nothing more. And before that, if he doesn't flash that Piercing Arrow and he goes down instantly, that's a really advantageous fight for IG. So props to ZDZ. Well played. Some in-flight mechanics, though.
Yeah, the only issue is Jiejie was able to pick up 2 kills. He is very strong at this juncture. He can one-shot almost anybody. If he times it well, can go in on Angel and avoid a stun. It is going to be pretty skill testing there, but we'll see if he's able to get that job done as this game definitely not out of reach. 23 minutes in, Cubby. I don't think that anybody thought we would be here in a game that is decided by less than 1,000 gold with EDG leading in kills.
Angel. Okay, they're getting a little bit scared. Yeah, this is the other nice thing for the Galio pick. Why I was a little bit surprised to see the Yanni. Galio can just kind of walk in and catch whatever, which is really nice for TheShy. And I like how IG is using this between him and Leona, being able to actually brute force their way down, clear some of these brushes, which can be really dangerous against the Annie-Vi composition. So IG able to at least get some control over here and going to return to catch the waves. All good from them. As Gala to go for Edge of Night, you can see On actually was able to fish it off there. Definitely going to be something to look out for here.
Okay, we're going to take a little bit of damage. Jiejie here as well. Just a lot of posturing in the river. Is Angel going to get slowed up, force the flash away once again. It's been on cooldown all game long.
That's why I really like the Leona this game for IG and Meiko. Just the ability to fish for flashes and have that reach. Again, it's a death ball comp for IG. I think that if they're able to overload, overwhelm EDG, that's the move at the moment. Otacon at half. TheShy holding the choke.
They don't have vision. Xiaohao going to go in. They're going to target TheShy. Rookie landing the stun with the Timbers. Xiaohao gets blown up. Wink gets to the back line, pulls them all in. Timbers from Angel trying to do good work, but it's not that much damage. They are slowed up a ton as they continue to push the fight. But ZDZ once again, good flame spinner damage. On doesn't die. Rookie gets rooted. ZDZ is pulling them down. So much damage. On gets the double kill, and EDG are fighting hard.
Look, the first fight, I thought that ZDZ played it really well, and I was surprised it was even. This time, IG, they overcommitted into the choke, trying to get through this Rywise Annie, which is actually doing a great job against this composition, Yanni. Again, 4 melees, the mileage that Rywise is getting in these fights, buying space for On, Angel to back off, it's huge. It's another big opener for IG. The engage comes down onto TheShy, but Xiaohao catches everything as multiple R's burn for him. And from here, I mean, Wink goes in. Just don't push through the poke. Go return to the Otacon. But they try and find the massive fight. Everyone's health bar is full. On's still able to pump out damage. And they actually can't get through the choke, can't get through the rumble in the Rywise Annie. So not returning to the objective, really going to bite IG there. As the big opener to the fight, they kind of throw away.
Yeah, and we're split too. Meiko goes deep.
Yeah.
And he dies for it. I mean, you know, the former EDG product, Jiejie, holding up his end of the bargain, but Meiko perhaps a little bit of love for his last team, or his first team, I should say. You know, not playing up to his standards. The equalizer comes down. He's going to have a big fight. Look at the backside here as they layer the CC down onto the carry. Xiaohao will fall on the backside, stuck in a 3v1, and they will find him too. And
Meiko!
See how the rest of the fight goes. Meiko is in the back. He needs help. Jiejie will go link up with him to make sure that he is able to survive. A 2-for-0 for IG, and objective secured at Soul Point.
I didn't see how On got to the point he was, but he was split. And the fact that the engage from IG, which was good, it split the Jin, but I think the approach from EDG was flawed there. As Jin being low on that fight with everyone else kind of being closer to mid, that's a really awkward one for me, for EDG. I think it really helped IG push through that fight. And hey, IG really fixed the flaws we saw in the last 2 fights, Yanni, with them overcommitting into this Rywise Annie. This time around, check this replay.
Oh, wow.
You're going to see, I guess, Rookie able to sneak on in. And again, On just ending up, I don't like where On walks here. I think that he's too far down. He's got to play with Angel. It's a great angle from Rookie, and the fight just entirely split by IG from the start. With Rookie being in fog with that cease and assist, having a big opener, then IG not overcommitting this time, sticking to the spells, the shotgun comp they have off the bat, unable to walk EDG down from there.
Yeah, I think that, you know, On's probably feeling himself a little bit, has felt good about these fights. It's just that EDG had no idea where Rookie could be. They didn't think it was fathomable that he would be behind them.
I agree. I think regardless, you still, like, over-committing into that choke is tough. Yeah. Committing into that choke the way he did is hard. So, I think it's a really good punish for Rookie.
You know? So, that's why it's, you know, a little bit too aggressive there. Sure, it could have worked out if Rookie wasn't there, but guess what? He was. Now that means that IG are in full control at this point. Nearly 3,000 gold up. We're doing The dance on the top side of the map here is IG looking to clear out all these wards, get all this vision down. EDG is overheated. Xiaohao forced out of his top side jungle here. So Rookie shoves in on the top side.
Like seeing the Merc Treads evolve is being bought here by IG.
Very good.
Of course, they got feats, and that boot being 500 gold definitely up in
TheShy?
value. Is TheShy found? He's stuck.
Well, the good news for him is that he's so tanky, although he does get chunked out hard. The equalizer stolen had gone down, and now they go all the way in. Xiaohao will fall. Meiko on the wrong side of the tracks, though, as the curtain call is opened up. He gets tagged with 2, but he'll be just fine. Gala getting tagged as well. And now a 1v1 between Rookie and ZDZ is won by Rookie for the moment.
I think Gala might be able to fish with the piercing arrow. Did find ZDZ as the poke comes in. Look at Angel, though.
Whoa,
okay.
Flash W, that Incinerate doing good damage. And now Timbers is chasing down Gala, but Jiejie is chasing down Angel. And going in is Rookie on the backside, is all alone. He's stuck with a stolen Timbers, chasing him down, as well as Jiejie. And the former third prince of EDG might have just driven the stake through the heart in game 1.
I mean, everything in this fight was burned on TheShy. And while the angle for Angel might have looked nice, there was not nearly enough gas in the tank for EDG to actually make that fight happen. It's a wipe for IG, and a potential Baron here is TheShy TPing in. And yeah, it looks like this one's going to be taken for free.
And finally, we see IG come through. A creative route by Rookie with the sweep was all it took to put this game in their hands. They just had to win that singular fight up top. Let's take a look at the replay, Cubby, as TheShy gets caught out early.
Yeah, again, like he has to flash and he's stuck, but look at how much goes into TheShy. Wink does not need an ult there. Tibbers, Equalizer, like everything gets thrown out. As after that, it ends up being Rookie just buying some time. And the re-engage from Angel, like while the angle looks nice, the R keys are just not available for EDG.
Take a look at picture-in-picture. We do see a bit of a fight going on.
They're going to get chased out.
The Silas ultimate is used on the Vi.
Yeah, but like this isn't the fight for On. And On gets zoned out. Everyone from IG just able to easily kite back there. It was not nearly enough, close enough to being reached there for EDG to actually threaten. But yeah, well, it was a nice angle from Angel in isolation, but with the R keys gone, not nearly enough tools to follow up and make that one impactful. So a big win for IG. I mean, they have really cracked open this game, and it's looking to be a game 1 win after that series.
Yeah, Rookie isn't going to give much love for that fight just because he marked ZDZ and kept him out. But think about how good ZDZ has been playing these fights. That is
he won the 1v1.
Huge win there for Rookie.
Yeah.
He has done so much in these last 2 fights, even if it isn't super flashy. He is getting the job done.
Between that and the ego, or you know, the presence, the aura of TheShy, baiting all the ultimates into him, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, there's only one man who could be more Giga Chad than TheShy. It could be ZDZ, but right now, he's out of the fight. TheShy only going to land the taunt on the 1. It's Xiaohao. Just going to get shielded up, go back in. Equalizer coming down. Not doing a ton of damage, as the curtain call will be out. They will block for TheShy. He will be able to leave. But the siege is not looking great for IG. They're forced to back off, but they do have the Ocean Soul waiting for them. Okay, we're going to land ultimates down, going all the way in on Angel. He gets chunked out, and he falls. They're going to try to turn it around on Jiejie, but he's able to escape, and he wants back in. He will fall. Xiaohao and On are out, but Rookie teleporting behind,
ZDZ.
just mogging them, looking at them. ZDZ so low, trying to heat back up. Wink needs to do whatever he can to make sure that ZDZ stays alive. He's on a damn sliver as Rookie's level 18, looking for a little bit more. Dash is over, but again, Wink body blocking, but he might give his life for it. Rookie switches targets, will find ZDZ dashing forward and slaying the king.
This side was just all of a sudden it's Thanos on the map with level 18 Riftmaker Roa. That was a great TP and play from ZDZ. I know the EDG don't win out of that, but look at how far behind they are. The fact they get a fight that close off the play from ZDZ, that is a really big win for EDG. Rookie just a little bit too big to deal with, but do want to give EDG some deserved props for even just finding that angle, Yanni. That was a really good look for them.
Yeah, it's just a damn shame that these waves were pushing against them.
It's Ocean Soul, yeah.
They
that was their
lost
last ditch.
2 turrets,
yeah.
Not even from a siege. It is so difficult for them to, you know, just outright win a fight at this point, and it's only going to get harder.
I mean, it's Ocean Soul.
IG, yeah,
Ocean Soul, I don't think it Ocean Soul is a state of mind, in the words of our great producer, Kelsey Moser, at times. There are some games where it's effective, some games where it's not. I think that this game for IG, just given all the melees that they do have, being able to deal a little damage back off, heal it back up, is nice.
Yeah.
But yet another objective and a big boost going IG's way. As I think this game was definitely a little bit closer, a little bit more competitive than what we thought going in, Yanni, but I don't feel like IG has been the team out of control. I feel like this one was closer just because we overcommitted into the Rywise Annie and underestimated that a couple times, right? It still feels like IG has been the one dictating the game.
Yeah, you know, from a caster perspective, I haven't really thought that IG were in danger of losing this game. There were times where if it's like, hey, if EDG gets off another one of those good fights that they had, then maybe IG are in danger at this point.
Right.
But it never happened. It was close, but it never ended up happening. And that's why EDG finds the position that they're in right now. Equalizer that is stolen is going to be burnt by Rookie. I like the thought here by Angel.
It's necessary. You can see the poke from Vera is really adding up here.
It's so tough.
And there's an Edge of 9 on Gala. They can't come off
Xiaohao
yet.
Go in.
They're going.
Angel, they're just going to dump everything they have on Gala. They'll take him down, but Angel going to get engaged on and look at the backside. TheShy and Rookie are mogging the back line. Rookie is going to be able to slide out. Now Xiaohao down to half HP, but TheShy is forced to flash away. It's just a 1-for-1 for now, but Rookie does have the Vi ultimate if he wants more.
Ocean Soul. Yeah, Ocean Soul too. I think they're just going to back off and yoink stuff. I will say, throwing everything to Gala, I mean, he doesn't have a TP. We've seen him be effective. Again, I just think it's too much for EDG to handle. As they're gonna try and fight this one out to keep it close, make it look close, but just doesn't feel like it's close still. Yeah, here, goodbye on.
Oh, on!
No sums.
Oh, they had no idea. They're like, yeah, man, IG must have backed off. No, IG have no chill. Wink will land a fine stun, but it doesn't matter because Xiaohao is going to be the next target, and he will go into stasis. Meiko on the backside, marking ZDZ. Jiejie is there too. ZDZ will be able to at least find that kill, but I'm sure Meiko is more than happy to give his life for an IG victory. ZDZ between two turrets, trying to burn Jiejie alive, but is unable to do so as the minions are pouring into the base. It's Angel, it's ZDZ versus TheShy Rookie, and Jiejie. The equalizer is going to go down. So is Timbers, but it's not doing a damn thing. Rookie's too tanky, TheShy's too tanky. The taunt is down, and so is the Rumble, as Angel is on the steps of the base and can't do a damn thing with the stolen Timbers running him down. Next is exposed. IG outlasts CDG in game one.
Nice game one win for IG. I think that if you're an IG fan taking it home, your boy Rookie actually looked really good in that one.
Oh,
I know in the back half of the split, Rookie has had a couple games where he hasn't been quite as solid, but man, to have Rookie step up on that Silas, a champ, you know, if we're going to talk about history between these two teams, two orgs that have hoisted that world trophy for the LPL. I remember Rookie Silas being pretty damn good back then. Always good to see him pop off on that one. And for EDG, a little bit more competitive than what we thought coming in. Might look for a more interesting night than what we had on our slate, Yanni.
Absolutely. They were hanging tough in that first game, really being proactive. Now, of course, it is a composition where you're expecting them to be proactive. You do have the Rel, you've got Jin Roots, you've got Vi. Like, this is something that we definitely expected. I actually think that as good as the Annie ended up being in some of these close quarters fights, a big reason why EDG were not able to run over the game earlier is because they didn't have a better mid-jungle pairing, right? We did talk about how
I agree.
Annie can't move nearly as well as Talia, as the Ahri, even if you elected to go maybe something like a Rise, which they elected not to go. You know, you do have the Realm Warp to be able to move around, so it was a little bit harder. But they did put a lot of pressure down on the Angel. This guy never had flash up.
I think that's the thing for me. Again, like, Annie does have the potential to make plays and to set up for your jungler, but Vi is not the highest damage jungler to pair up with the Annie. And when you're removing those flashes from Annie and making it so that she really can't step up past the halfway point, it's tough. So I think that's the big difference for me. It really slowed down that game on the EDG side, and then IG, they got tanky enough. They've had two fights where I don't feel like they played it right, but hey, after that, they really did fix, patch things up on their own, said, hey, we can't overcommit into the Annie, guys. First round of spells, whatever we get, right? And then EDG, when they tried to find that re-engage in that top ender, that's really what cracked the game open.
Yeah, and when you think about those fights, they were going even in kills. I think there was only one of those fights where they actually lost out on kills. And again, it was never like, oh, EDG killed them and they can do something. They can take the Otacon.
Exactly right.
They can go take an objective. They can go take a turret. It was never going to happen for them, and that's a big reason why that IG, was able to outlast them and win this game. Because sure, they may have lost the fight, but what, they went 2 for 2? They went 2 for 1? Like, all right, that's fine. Plus 300, sure, you can have that.
Yeah, potentially. And hey, for that first game, of course, this is best of 5s with Fearless. If you guys are at home, of course, we're not going to see those champions again. And side select goes to the losers until game 5, where we will get a 1v1 if we do end up there.
If we get there in this series, awesome series. Absolute bang.
I'm going to need some more coffee. I didn't prepare for 5.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be honest, Yanni. I don't think we were not expecting 5 up here. But of course, as we go into the post-match history, I think the other big story of this one, while the early game they were able to milk flashes like out of Annie and find some positives there, it really was Jiejie farming up, and that paid off big time. As he's got to be probably rookie MVP maybe, but probably stole some thunder away from Jiejie. But Jiejie's economy, once he got the Shojin and then he got on the map to use it, was actually quite nice for IG. I do like how they played in the Fury out in that game.
Yeah, if you want to talk about how well you piloted your champion, it's got to go to Jiejie, right? But if you want to talk about who made the most impactful plays in the game, if anybody other than Rookie gets this MVP, that is absurd. That is crazy. This guy single-handedly turned the game around. They were at that point where we talked about, like, hey, if EDG win one more fight, they could start taking control of this game, and Rookie shut that down. Honorable mention to the loser, ZDZ, was so good in this game.
I thought ZDZ actually had a really nice game, and TheShy played good too, but that Rumble got a lot of value. So
you did say it, that later on the Rumble would have gotten big, and it wouldn't really matter how the early game went for TheShy. And I mean, Rumble was unabated this game.
I mean, they gave him % max health damage and % magic pen in his kit. I don't agree with that one, Riot. That's just me. Fortunately, the Andres was nerfed, which is a nerf to Rumble on this patch. But you can still see the priority that teams are putting on him, and rightfully so. You get priority. You have scaling. And then this was the one that broke the camel's back again. The engage from Angel, no one's going to argue that this isn't nice on your screen, but there was no Tibbers and not enough follow-up. On wasn't in range to really do some work here. And this was the big change in the game, and what we ended up having here, Yanni.
And this is the difference, right, between how many games you've played, right? I think EDG, if presented with a scenario like that more, they realize, hey, we have to back off this turret. We have to just give it. And you're not losing Annie Flash. You're not losing your other 2 members on the backside. You're probably not losing the Baron. This Annie Flash could have been big for the next fight, right? You get to reset, maybe look for a big Flash Tibbers down. But unfortunately, because they lost that fight, it made life very difficult. And Rookie, of course, TPing here, just staring at him, just looking sturdy and doing so much damage.
Rookie saw like everyone get to 1 HP here, and he's like, "Oh my god! If I just had one more page in the book, I could have cleared out 2 of these kills." As Rookie ended up being a big playmaker in the back half of this one. And again, I think that's a really good sign if you're an IG fan. Rookie is someone who I think in the middle of the split was actually playing really well when things were ballistic for IG. Rookie for me was the solid piece. Then the rest of IG started playing better. We saw Rookie's form for me dip a little bit, but this was good form, of course, on TheShy. Was a champion that I always somewhat associate with Rookie just because of the strength of Silas this season at Worlds and the ability for IG to play it back then with Rookie himself. So was a fun one for sure. And we'll see if EDG can keep on at least playing decent game plans. Again, I don't think EDG were not the better team. They weren't coming into this, but they were able to at least turn the few mistakes that IG had with extending those fights too long. They turned it around. I don't think they played out their comp like terribly by any means, right?
Yeah, they played pretty respectably.
Yeah, might be in for a closer series than we thought. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we also thought that, remember, EDG we thought was a team that was probably going to make it to Group Ascent.
Yeah,
I mean, at the time, Team WE didn't look very good. And
I was hoping it was LGD,
Yeah, it's just so crazy how it happened that they, because EDG were at 15 minutes, at 18 minutes, winning early games versus a team like BLG who, now we know at the time, maybe was not playing at the peak of their powers, but still looked quite good. So it's nice to see them at least get their shot against a big top-end Group Ascent team. Here's our player of the game. It is Rookie, to what should be nobody's surprise after what he did on the Rift.
Yeah, faker playmaker in this game for Rookie.
Yes, sir.
It was one of those games on the Silas was a really big performance from him. And yeah, I think that Rookie, if he can maintain this form, I mean, that's something that could be really scary for IG. We always talk about this team, the individual prowess they have, just being able to piece it together has really been the question and the challenge for them this year. Great performance from Rookie as they piece together that Game 1 win. We'll see what happens in Game 2.
Well played out of Rookie. It's break time for us, but before we do that, we do need to talk about how grateful we are to our coffee and our YouTube subscribers. You guys help us level up the show. A lot of the initial payments go into upgrading the broadcast, but a bulk of them goes to paying on-air talent and our content creators. Subscribe to our coffee, which will be linked in the chat. You can unlock perks like early access to content and the ability to ask interview questions for our unique on-site interviews. 2 really, really good perks. Again, go check us out there. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. When we return, we're going to hit you with some MOBA Trainer before we get into the draft for Game 2. See you on the other side.